Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about homeschooling in the state of Alabama. And we're going to begin at the HSLDA website, which will help you if you have legal concerns. I'm not an attorney and I cannot help you with those sorts of things, but I want to go over a variety of things that could probably help you with your homeschooling. And this is one of them. And I think the membership is probably only about $10 or $12 a month. And we're going to go to their website to see what it says. And it says, here are the options. It says in Alabama, there are 3 options under which you can legally homeschool. Note that church schools and private schools can establish their own policies for teacher qualification, days of instructions, and required school subjects. Option 1, homeschooling with a church school. A church school offers instructions in grades K through 12 or any combination thereof, including preschool, through on-site or home programs, and is operated as a ministry of a local church, group of churches, denominations, and or association of churches that does not receive any state or federal funding. A home may be the location where a child receives instruction as a student attending a church school. To homeschool under this option, you must take the following steps, and it's got 1, enroll your child in a church school, and so you can read more on that, and then file a church school enrollment certificate and keep an attendance register, comply with any policies established by the church school, and you can read more on that. And if you're going to do the church school, they have a list that you can click on, and you can go, and it gives you from the HSLD website, it takes you here, and then you get to pick the area code, and I picked the area code, and I chose this school, the Contemporary Education Academy, and I called them and spoke to them or emailed them. I think I emailed them, and they said that they cover the whole state of Alabama, so it's not just that area code. And then there's fees are on their website. It looks like they're very upfront about it. It also looks like it's very affordable. And new enrollment families, it's $95. So, and that seems to be for the whole family. It says, select this if it's your first year. This includes a yearly tuition for $70 and a one-time admission fee for $25, and this covers a whole family's tuition for the year. So if you need an umbrella school, you could contact them, and they have their contact list, and I will click on that for you so you can see that. And I emailed them, and they said they cover the whole state of Alabama. So there's their phone numbers and email. I think it's this one that, I think this is the one that it said to contact. But so you can contact them if you're interested in doing that. And they also have, you can choose your own curriculum, and they also offer online courses for a fee. So you can check that out, and they also recommend curriculum. So you can go through that, you can contact them, and you can see what they say. You may want to do that as an umbrella school. This school right here, it says Baldwin County Public Schools. Hold on. It has their phone number, and they're in Alabama. And their statement says that they have their frequently asked questions, which you can read. And it says, if you plan to homeschool your child and they're attending Baldwin County School, as per Code of Alabama, withdraw your student and indicate to the register your plan to homeschool. Parents are no longer required to notify the superintendent, establish a private school, or submit attendance per the Alabama State Department of Education. Complete the homeschool enrollment form available on this page under Forms and Documents, and fax and mail the completed form to the Department of Prevention and Support Services within the first week of the new school year or when you withdraw your student to homeschool. The mailing address and fax number are below. So you can print that out and put the date on it and email them if you want, and print your email out. And if I would keep a portfolio or a binder, I recommend that, because not only just because it's an excellent keepsake and you're going to want to look back on it, but it's just a great thing to have if you're homeschooling, because it proves that you're homeschooling, but it is an excellent keepsake for your children to look back on. And I would probably have one for my students to create and one for me so that we both have a keepsake, because your student's going to want to probably showcase their best work, and you might want to cover a variety of skills or show progressive work. But this is the frequently asked questions, and you can print that out, put the date on it, and put it in there. So, and they have their contact, and then I'll show you the form that they have, and so you can get that. So I don't know, you can contact the Board of Education or the HSLDA website if you have any concerns or questions. So, or you can go through the church umbrella school. And this one is homeschooling with a private school. It says, according to HSLDA, a private school is established, conducted, and supported by a non-governmental entity or agency offering educational instructions in grades K through 12 or any combination thereof, including preschool, throughout on-site or homeschool programs. A home may be the location where a child receives instruction as a student attending a private school. A parent may establish a home-based private school, or the home may be an extension of an existing private school. And it says to notify your superintendent 5 days after the start of public school. Your private school must report to the county or city attendant the names and addresses of all school-aged children enrolled in the school. Thereafter, your private school must report the names and addresses of all school-aged children who are enrolled in the school who are absent. And it says you must keep an attendance register, obtain proof of immunizations, teach physical education, and then it has homeschooling using a private tutor. But the homeschool under the private school sounds like you can be the private school, or you can do it under a private school, if I'm understanding it correctly. But you can call them and ask them, because like I said, I'm not an attorney, and so they would be the ones to ask, or the Board of Education. So, and it says you can use a tutor, but they have to be Alabama certified teachers. So you can check that out. Sounds like it's very easy to homeschool in the state of Alabama. It used to be you had to go through a church school and use them as an umbrella school, but it sounds like you no longer have to do that anymore. But if you want to, there's some really good ones, and they're very low cost, and they're very easy to use as well. So, well, the one is, and this is IXL, and it is not free, but it's complete curriculum. It says from pre-K all the way to college, and you can see how you can print off the contents or the curriculum so that you can put that in your portfolio or your binder. And I would keep a daily log of what you're doing in school with your students. So I put like day 1, August 5th, 8 o'clock, math, like put the day 1, day 2, day 3, whichever day it is, and then put the date, and then put the time, and then put the name of the subject, and then the name of the book or the website that you're using, and then the activity that they're doing within the subject. Like this would be the activity: counting review up to 10, skip counting by 2s, skip counting by 5s. You can see that would be the activity. Read a thermometer. So that might help you. So then you have that to look back on it, and then you can show that if anybody needs to see your portfolio or your binder for what you're doing with your students. And you can carry a notebook and write down what time it is and what subject and the name of the book or the workbook and what the activities they're doing. And then you can type it up every now and then in a WordPad document and email it to yourself, and then print it off and throw it in your portfolio or your binder so that you have it in there. And there's a lot of things that you might want to keep in your portfolio or your binder, and we're going to go over some of that. This is Khan Academy. It's supposed to be free for everyone, everywhere, and it's pre-K all the way up to college. It is said to be an excellent resource. So it's another one. And this is another complete curriculum. And it is free, but they try to get you to donate, and you can click cancel and get it for free. And then after you use it for a while, if you love it, you can donate to that. Some people go to the complete curriculum and they might use math on one, and then they might use English on another, or they might, like this one has Bible, they might just use it in different combinations. And this one utilizes different websites so that they're doing their daily activity. They might go to one website to do math games, and they might go to another one to do reading, and they might go to another one for history. So, and it's a fun website. And now we're out of the complete curriculum. I'm going to show you some things that might add to your curriculum. This is Schoolhouse Rock. You may have heard of it, but maybe you didn't realize that it had grammar, science, economics, history, mathematics, and civics. And it's a great thing to add to your curriculum. It's songs. You can find them for free on YouTube playlists. And I will show you some of the different subjects it covers. So within Multiplication Rock, it covers, these are the subjects. It's got multiplication by 2 and my hero 0, and it's got multiplication by 3, 4, so you can see it goes all the way up to the 12 times tables. And students sing these songs and they memorize them, so they get to know it really well, and some of them remember them even into adulthood, so it's very helpful. And this one is Grammar Rock, and they need to know what's a noun and what's a verb and a subject and a predicate all the way through their school years. So this one's it's excellent resources to be able to sing those songs and memorize them and know what they are because you know the songs. This is America Rock. I don't know if you've ever seen that jaywalking where he goes around asking people questions, and people think it's funny because they don't know these things, but this helps you learn those things. This has like American Revolutionary War, American Independence, immigration, voting for the president. So this is branches of the government. It's just a wonderful resource. And if you're cooking lunch or your students need a break or you need a break, this is an excellent way to take a break because they feel like they're not doing any schoolwork. They're just watching these videos and singing along, and it's just fun. And this is science. And then there's another science called Earth Rock, and we'll see that. And that is here. And then there's one with Money Rock that teaches them about personal budget, interest, loans, barter. So it's an excellent resource. This one is Best Ed Lessons, and it's another excellent resource. So this one, I clicked on the spelling word list. So you can click on a word list and get spelling words, and you can create their own exercises if you like, or you can get spelling words out of their daily activities, the words they're struggling with, and you can have them write the words, and you can have them put the definitions. You can have put the words in a sentence, or just different activities. Look for synonyms, however you want to do it, and then give them quizzes every now and then. This one has about 5,000 books. Some of them are different editions. It's very user-friendly. You just click on the book, click that you want to read it, and there it is. So you can click on the page, and you can turn the page in the upper right-hand corner to the left or to the right, so that you can turn the page. So it's just a great resource because it has, I think it's like around 5,000 books. And this is another excellent resource. It is Mr. Nussbaum. If you have never seen it, it's so great. And you can see the different subjects it covers, and I will scroll down, and there comes an ad. So this is an excellent resource. If you want to teach them about the area or the state that you live in, it's on here. If you want to teach them about the state you grew up in, if it was a different state or other countries, it's here. And history. So you can cover a variety of subjects because it has so much in every subject. So you can add this to your curriculum because it's wonderful. Okay, and then this one, it's from the UK, but the thing that I love about this one is that it has free workbooks that you can print out for your students to use. It's such an excellent resource. So, and it has free workbooks for different grade levels. So, Just wanted to share this one with you in case you needed some workbooks. And this one, at the beginning of the school year, you might be wanting to give your students an assessment test to see where they're at. And you can find those here. They even have Bible assessment tests. So I'll show you one of the assessment tests. So you can print it out, you can save it to PDF. And this one's a math one. And you can see if your students are making simple mistakes and show that with them, or if they need to review something, or if they are on that level. And that will help you to create a plan of what you want to teach your students that year. And you can put this in your portfolio or your binder when they take the test. And this one I wanted to show you is from Alaska, where they get student allotments if they're homeschooling from $500 to $4,000. And some of the schools let you keep the items you purchase with the allotment and donate them if you like. But you can watch that other video for Alaska if you want. But this is the part I want to show you, because if you're brainstorming and you're trying to come up with a list of what you want to use for your students to teach them that year, this will help you create that list. If you can put books and a list of your favorite books that you might be using, or general homeschool supplies you're going to need, or online subscription-based programs, full curriculum. You can create your own headings, field trips, and then you can put your favorite ideas and brainstorm it, and then you can highlight the ones you're actually going to use, or create a separate list for the ones you're actually going to use. Then you can look back at this one and have them both in your portfolio or your binder. So if you decide you want to use something else, you can, or for next year. This even lists the educational toys and brain games. If you have chess sets, categories, Yahtzee, things like that, Scrabble, these are excellent. These are excellent things that you can use to help to teach your students. I wouldn't be playing board games every day. If I did, I would only be doing it for like a half an hour, because you want to make sure you cover the core subjects in certain ways. But you might want to use a online full curriculum for 3 hours a day, and then for an hour a day you might want to use a workbook, and then you might want to do other things as well. So you might want to do Wednesdays afternoons for cooking for a month, and then the next month that might be like your 4-H life skill type classes, and the next month you might want to be doing jewelry making, or checking the oil, and changing the tire, or leather crafts, or just whatever you decide you want to do that you want to teach them. And then Friday afternoon might be doing board games and reading magazines that are history and science that you got in the mail. Just, it's your school and you can do it how you want to. I would just make sure that at least 65% of the day is spent on the main core subjects. But if you go to the library, create library skills. Give them a certificate of completion maybe. And you might need a couple calendars. You can find those free online. I get the ones with the little boxes. One to create the days you plan to have school, and one for the days you actually have school. Because even public schools end up having snow days. So, homeschool support groups. If you're homeschooling, you may want to join homeschool support groups. Sometimes they meet and they do fun things together, like field trips. And if you want to donate books that you're using to other families, you might find that you can do that with homeschool support groups. If you have questions, perhaps they've homeschooled for years and they have information about driver's ed, or maybe getting a high school diploma, things like that. You never know what kinds of questions you're going to want to ask, and a homeschool support group might be the answer for that. And if you're keeping a portfolio or binder, some of the things you might want to put in it is an assessment test that you gave them at the beginning of the year to create your plan for what you want to teach them. State homeschool laws printed out with a date. Copies of forms that you filed with the school and proof of that. A couple of calendars for attendance records. Brainstorming your favorite resources. The actual list of resources you're going to use. List of field trips that you're taking. Contents from web pages like iExcel or workbooks to show curriculum and lists of activities. Sample work from the students, maybe 2 pages a week or something like that. And you can choose if you want to showcase their best work, show progressive work, or a variety of skills. And I would do one for you and one for your student, so you have the keepsakes. Proof of field trips taken, maybe a flyer, you would put the date on it, a photo, videos. Have the student write a paper about what's their favorite thing they did on the field trip, or something they learned, and put the date on it. A weekly schedule. daily log of activities with like the day 1, day 2, day 3, and you put the day 1, the date, the time, the subject, the name of the workbook or the web page, and the activity they did in each subject. And the last subject of the day, they put the start time and the end time, so you have that. Standardized tests, if you take them yearly, put them in there. If you have them do self-evaluations telling you where they're doing best at, where they're struggling at, if they need more time in one subject, how they learn better, if it's through videos, if it's through hands-on, if it's through workbooks, if it's through a certain website with complete curriculum, you can put that on there. And if you write them an assessment every 6 to 8 weeks, you can put that in there. Make sure you put a positive spin, like if they're struggling in reading, but they have a positive attitude. And at the end of the year, when you do the assessments in each subject, put maybe they were struggling in reading and they went up 5 reading levels because they had such a positive attitude. And you can put that in there. And I would have them help you with the assessments so that you're communicating with them and they look back on it and they take pride in their work. If they do volunteer work, you might want to create certificates and have other people fill them out. If they take classes outside of the home, yoga, martial arts, Zumba, swimming lessons, anything like that, you might want to have people put certificates of completion and put that in your portfolio or your binder. Contacts with emails and addresses for the school or your homeschool support groups. Put that in there. If they do career type study field trips, you might want to have them create a list of questions asking the type of education they needed and what kind of skills they use, like for maintaining schedules, meeting deadlines, problem-solving skills, organizing skills, things like that. You might want to put that in your portfolio or your binder. And if you can get audio or video, have them write a paper on it. And this might help them choose their career, know the education they need for those types of career, and it might just help them with interviews and communication skills. If you decide to grade your students, you don't have to grade them like the school. It used to be that teachers had more freedom with what they were teaching their students, and then all of a sudden it became more controlled and it became problems and the teachers didn't like it. So you can grade your students on how you want to. If it's being focused and not being distracted by their phone, if it's being prepared, if it's completing their work, if it's how they creative thinking and originality and being clear so you can understand them. You can grade them on written work, open book tests, extra credit work, correcting mistakes, quizzes. It's up to you, and you don't have to grade them on every single assignment. I wouldn't think. I would think that you could grade them once a week if you want to and go through it, and you can tell them you want to disregard one of their papers if you like they do at school, but you can grade them how you want to because it is your school when you are teaching your students. And a lot of times homeschoolers score much higher than the students at school, often on the standardized test. So anyway, so that's just some ideas for you. So, and if you want to create simple goals and objectives that are worded with things like you plan to have them review, continue to introduce new skills or information, continue to expose them to new information. If you want to have that in there, you can do that. And you can use vague words like to continue to study concepts and topics within the subject, to continue to work in order to improve skills within that subject, to increase vocabulary and knowledge within the subject area. So you can create objectives that are worded like that so that you're not pressured and your students aren't pressured by your words because that's what you plan on doing. And that's just some ideas. And I tried to put everything I could think of into the video, but I'm sure I left some things out. Please feel free to leave comments. And I hope that this helps someone. And have a great day. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Bye-bye.